talk about overall building of the brand and the system. And we're really going to start getting more and more depth over these next 30 days. And the whole point of these next 30 days is for you to at least have a foundation built for yourself and in your system so that you understand, one, basically how the software works, two, how do you can utilize it, and three, how do you actually use it to get more customers. Okay. Now, in the overall software, right now I'm looking at a commission plan, but let's get over here. So there's three steps in every process, in every business model that you're in, especially in this generation, which is the ability to get the customer, which is grab attention. Three, the second, the ability to convert them, actually getting them to give you their information in exchange for the opportunity to provide that opportunity to sell them. And then three, sales, right? And so the system actually combines with every single three of those pieces. And we're going to start going over certain pieces and being able to ask questions about actually getting these things done. Now, through the whole system, it has a few different things on here that we're going to pay attention to today. Today, the marketing, the automation, the sites, and the opportunities. Right? Those are the three major things in the overall category that we have to break down, but I wanted to be able to move through it so that we can execute on a few things so that we can understand how to move forward and what makes a site, what makes you marketing. And I'll tell you this, no matter what people you really hire into your business or to do a major piece of the job, you will always have to be your best marketer. You will always have to be your best sales unless you plan on building the type of business that scales at a higher rate before you. But usually between 0 and multiple six figures, it's a lot of self-development. Okay. So in that process, let's talk about a few things today. The first thing we're going to go over is marketing. Okay. Now, the first thing I would tell you to do is that if you have a Facebook page, if you have an Instagram page, that you should add these pages to your system ASAP Atano so that it's an easy post process. If you do not have a Google My Business, it's absolutely required to have some. If you have an LLC, doesn't matter where it's at, you can actually perform in any area, right? You can change it to Arizona, wherever you're doing work, and you can actually have the location hidden at any point in time. So if you have to start a new one with Google My Business, whatever your product base is here now, and you have to actually, what it says, use a location, you can use your home location, but then you cannot share it across the platform. A lot of people think because they don't have an actual location that they shouldn't have a Google My Business, but Google My Business is one of the number one places people look for referrals. So in your marketing category, the very first thing you should do in building this brand process, right? At this point, you should already have a name, you should already have social media. You need to add your social media into this social media player so you can start playing content at a different level, which means planning opportunities and getting things posted when you actually have that moment to spend a couple hours or have someone do it. They can know exactly where to go to actually add it to a system and take care of it for you. The reason why this is some of the basic humps of every brand and business is because when they're first getting started, getting an actual social media planning platform usually takes a whole nother cost, and you're focused on that. And then you're like, well, then how do I get leads? But the easiest thing to be able to do to remove yourself is have a simple system where somewhere we can find that information and they can do something on your behalf. If they cannot find it, if they don't know where they could post and you have to restart passwords and do all these things 10 times, you actually create zero processes in your business. So a brand is a stack of processes that requires people to do and take certain actions so that it's repeatable, and it's growth worthy, and it's trackable. So that's why I say right now, I see you're one of the young people on here. So I would tell you that if you have your social media accounts, your Facebook page and stuff like that, start adding these things as soon as possible. So if that's all we kind of get today in the conversation, like you get your social media systems up and we build on that, that's totally okay too. I can show you a few different things about how to use that, which I think is quite important overall. So let me get into a Facebook actually. So everybody, I'm going to kind of break this down from the Facebook point of view, from the front end of your brand. And the reason why I'm using Facebook and kind of explaining this from the Facebook point of view is because it's one of the easiest way to flip into the game and start getting leads. It's one of the easiest ways to do so. Okay? So we're actually going to break down that conversation about how easy that process is. And I say it's easy, but I always say that when you start to decide to take control of your brand or business, when you guys decide that it's necessary for you to take control of your brand or business, you'll realize that it's not as complicated as it has to be, but it is a little bit complicated. And you have to get through the basics of marketing, processes, and sales to get a business to ever to a point where you get to hire someone else. Okay, so anybody's out there trying to build a brand and you're thinking one day you're going to do so good at hustling that you're actually going to be able to give it to someone else and they're going to do the work. No, everybody comes into your business and they succeed based off the processes you have internally in your system or not. And I've been building a lot of them recently. So we're going to kind of go over that. And we're going to actually use my boy here who's on here as an example as he is growing his catering taco business here in Arizona. So if you guys are watching, depending on where you're watching from, you guys have an understanding of the perspective that I'm coming from on that side. Now, the very first thing I would tell you guys to do is if you've never used Business MetaSuite, to create a Business MetaSuite. And the way that you do that is you go here, you click on your face in the right hand corner. It's going to say Meta Business Suite. Okay. And you're going to open up your Meta Business Suite. The reason why you're going to open up a Meta Business Suite is because you want to create a place where both of these things have its own called business portfolio. Okay. The business portfolio kind of separates it from your main account here, like who you are, and then allows you to bring assets outside of yourself for a branding purposes. I know this seems complicated, but I'm telling you, once you get these things done and you find them again and again. Okay. What's my outstanding balance on this run? It's wild. So just I'm going to show you the basics of a system as well. I'm going to pay this. It's like $9, I'm assuming. So we're going to run it. All right. I'll do that later, but I'll show you for an example for that. Running small advertisements in your system. Okay, so I got to pay $9. Cool. I'll take care of that. Okay. So now the very first thing you're going to do is if you look over here on the left-hand side, you're going to click on the top where it's going to probably have your face or name on here. You're going to say Create Business Portfolio. Okay? And what you're going to do is you're going to create a business portfolio and you're going to start putting your business information in there for that portfolio. Now, what a portfolio means is that it's going to take your Facebook and Instagram assets and put them in one place because there's four things that I'm going to explain that's in a business asset on Facebook. There's your pixels. It's its own asset. It creates major opportunities for you. Then it has your Instagram page. It has your Facebook page, right? If it has your groups in there, it can all be put into an asset so you can run advertisements and your ad account. Those are different assets that technically, that I always say in any business, that you should have multiple ways that you sell someone to be able to play them. So the portfolio will create all of that. So type in your business name, first and last name, and your business email, and you're going to create that portfolio. Do I have any on here with zero assets? Let's look at this with zero assets. Ribbit. Okay. So once you actually get into the page, your business portfolio is going to have a few different things in here. It's going to say users, accounts, all this extra stuff. And what you want to kind of do is you want to focus on getting your pages into your system. So you want to go down to accounts because you're already going to be the main user. You're going to go down to accounts, press pages, and you're going to go to add here. Now, because you should have been the one who started your Facebook account, you should just be able to add your Facebook account to the page. Oh, it's because I don't have this one. Now you should be able to type in your Facebook page name here. You should be able to go to next and it should move you through the process. Now, if you go through here and you get your Facebook account put on here, but you're having a harder time, a few other things here that's just for the Facebook accounts pages. Instagram account pages are going to go down here and you'll then have to add it by logging into the system. Okay. It's going to tell you which part is probably connected to that. And it's going to add you. So you want to add those two things. You want to add your page and you want to add your Instagram account. Okay. So what this does, there's a few things this does for you guys, and I'm telling you, just do it. Don't ask questions because it will make your life 10 times easier after if you need someone else to do it, or if you ever need to go in the back office and work inside of your business suite, or if you ever need to run simple local ads, guys. The power of simple local ads for any business model is super, super amazing, honestly. And I think a lot of people don't run Google Ads because a lot of times they end up running an ad that is spun across the world or trying to do it all over the United States or not really focused on what they're trying to actually sell. And they can't get past that basic lead generation process to end up selling. So I want you guys to do the basics today in the system of building your brand, which is one, you need to have your platform on multiple platforms. This is what I'm breaking down for your business ability to be able to run ads on Facebook and Instagram because it's one, very, very popular, and two, very easy to get in front of customers when you're looking and you have the right message. Now, do not wait to have the right message and everything to build out the infrastructure, which is what we're doing here today. And I'm going to actually break that down again so you can understand how to add your Facebook and Instagram page to a Google or to a Meta Business Suite. So we will go down, delete these here. So when you're on Facebook and you're logged in on the right hand side, this must means you must have already created a page, guys, as well, which is a business page for your business, right? Which is separate to why I have all these random profiles on here because these are other business pages and clients that I've worked with on the Facebook side that they have their business brands on that side. And I guess we can see all of them by looking at the other ones I have. I guess I could get rid of the rest of them. So by doing that, you're going to come here and make it very simple. Go to Meta Business Suite. Guys, if you do not have a Facebook page right now, that is not why you're here. I say that from watching my videos. Go to YouTube, type in create business Facebook page, and figure that out. If you do not have that, that should be the first thing. If you're watching this video, go back, create your business pages. Go to YouTube, type in how to create a Facebook business page. Go in there, lock it in, make sure you have it done. Okay, so like I said, you're gonna click on here on the top right hand, on the top left hand side. It's gonna say business profiles. You're gonna create a new business profile. You're gonna fill out your business information. If you do not have a business information, or it's your name, or it's something that just put in your information. Period. Move forward. Things are not forever. Things can be changed quite easily. But if you have a brand or business, please start the profile from there. What it's going to attach to is two things. It's going to add to your Facebook and your Instagram page. Like I said, once you get in there and it doesn't have any sorts of things, it's going to pull you up with settings that are going to look like this. It's going to say user, people, partners. It means you can partner with projects and other things that can make you actually more powerful in the systematic space that other businesses don't understand because you'll get these basic pieces. You'll be shocked about how many business owners do not know how to create a business suite and for yourself getting your brand prepared, whether it's your name or your personal brand or your public page for a personal brand. Doesn't matter. You should still have those two connected to your personal page. And you're going to add that, and then you're going to add an Instagram account. Now, if you do have a business WhatsApp, I would suggest you use that too. If you're going to be a little international, things are a little bit getting more international by the day. WhatsApp is a very powerful application that allows people to find you via Wi-Fi and not just through a text message phone number. So, but we'll just stick it to those two things, and you want to be able to add all of that to your overall account in the social media planning place. That is number one. Set yourself up for your processes to be able to get out content. Okay, I see my man looking at me over here. How can I help you? I don't. Yeah, you're more than welcome to ask questions as well, because.
Hey, so on here, so am I? Because I already have a Meta Business profile,
Okay.
and I have my Instagram and my Facebook in there.
Okay.
But do I have to add that Meta, or does it automatically um, integrate it into that social planner on the Express?
So all you have to do is come right here and click on these buttons, right? So
Hold on.
good thing. Thank you for answering that question. Simplicity, guys. If you guys already have that done, you come here and you just click on these buttons, and it'll actually just ship you into Facebook, and then start adding your stuff to that immediately. Okay. I would say add your personal brands and add your Facebook fan page to that. And then as well as to the Instagram, all you got to do is do that. And as long as the business page is already added to there and it's connected, you'll log in again and it'll automatically add your Instagram to it too, which is pretty powerful on that end. So you can just literally press these buttons on here, guys, just as clear as day. Press these buttons on here. Thank you for asking that question, honestly, because it seems like sometimes you pass up simple things, but that was a simple answer to a simple question. Um, so go in here, click the buttons of your process here, and then you want to go about it that way, and you want to actually use that to add all of your accounts to the process. So there's 1,000 things that we can go over today, but a few things is one is being able to systemize your ability to get content out is super important. So I want to make sure that you guys really understand that part of building your brand. At this point in time, I will answer any basic questions that anybody ever has or anyone you pose on the bottom of the videos or stuff like that. But mostly I will be talking a little bit more higher level on the side of implementation and just kind of getting it done and um, less thinking about it and more, absolute execution. So today, add your social medias and that stuff to the platform. So let's get rid of that. Once you add that to your systems, getting your passwords and getting these basic things through your process, I think it would be simple. The few things I would say that you can really help your business out in the beginning process is to possibly create a Google Drive with your business name on there in your Google Drive and start to put your passwords and things like that for anything that you need business wise, because like I said, getting what you need to the next person is typically the hardest thing someone has, is getting someone started in a process that doesn't exist. So I want anybody who's watching this video or in the overall B3 Business Club or joining us in these processes to learn is to get your process in order first. Get your ability to even have a process. It's like getting a car, getting a basic engine, and getting to work every day so you can upgrade your engine, your car, and your system after. But if you don't do the basics, you won't even have a car. You'll be riding a bike, and you'll wonder why you can't pull anybody onto your train of business with you because you don't have a process and you don't have a two-seater non-motorbike. Okay, just so you guys who are actually on motorbikes are like, yeah, throw them on the back. Talking about a bicycle. Okay. Um, from that side, the first thing I would say is once you get all that stuff put in there, that allows you to then be posted on that side. Now, the next thing is you want to get your basic funnel or website in position. Now, a couple things that we're actually going to use him as an example while we're here and actually just get him started on that process. There's a few different things that you can do in the process of building a funnel. I'm actually going to go with the AI funnel first. I'm going to see if there's any sort of catering company bottom in here. Oh, catering food and drinks. No, not a supplier though. So here we'll go with this one. And everyone who gets started, you actually get 5 AI websites that will help you launch the basic sides of editing and stuff like that to get it started. But I would always say throw out your process immediately to see what you can do to at least get your site up and going using AI and then being able to adjust from there and then adding the things to the site that you're absolutely going to need. So because of that, it usually charges $1, but there's 5 free registers here. So I'm going to use one of these here. And we're going to talk about what is the main purpose of this process, right? Do you want to showcase your services? Do you want to sell your products or services? Or do you want to generate more leads? Now, for us in a process, because either setting up appointments is the time to be able to talk or generating more leads is what I'm going to kind of go with because we want them in a system to be able to reach out to them and ask them more questions based off of the basics of what a simple system needs to be able to do. To be able to get appointments, there's a couple different levels that you have to do for that. Showcasing your services, that has to be really, really clear. But trying to get leads to exchange their information for more information from you is actually one of the simplest ways to do that. So we'll go that way. Now it's going to ask a couple different things of how I want it to either be perceived in the content that it should feel like, right? Should it be friendly, professional, inspirational, conversational, right? I'm gonna go persuasive, just because I always think being persuasive is almost a necessary. So you let your systems feel like they're writing in persuasive ways, um, and then from there we go to generate. Okay. So now we're going from one, getting a social media in place to be able to actually put out content at a level across multiple platforms in exchange to get leads. And then the second thing is actually having the very first funnel that we need to get leads. Now, this is what I always say. People always want to figure all these things out before they build on top of the foundation. And a lot of times that actually slows you down when you finally have that little bit of irk or energy to do so. Building becomes a boring piece. So it's better to build out an infrastructure and then get creative behind that on top of your business. And so as of right now, it's generating a website that it's going to create overall the information that it's going to say. Now, all this is edible. It's editable, as you can edit the whole thing, the colors, the scheme, everything that comes with this is actually absolutely edible. Okay, it's going to give you multiple website levels, or it's going to give it to it's going to tell us what levels are here on. Let's see, we're going to go to pages. And so that's just the main home page of what it's looking like to actually book Tasty Tacos Feast. Hey, I like that. I didn't even, make it known it was a taco. So the AI picked up on the actual Spanish, I'm assuming, that it said tacos in here, and it was like adding some of its own little flavors to the process and be able to do that. Now, from here, you'll be able to change a lot of things. One, back end pictures, the name of things, the reason why. You can actually add segments in here. But now you have your general focus. And I always say, if you're not very creative at first, the best thing to do is to just exchange things and use things to your advantage point when you're able to process the basics of what you're looking to be able to do for someone. So for him on the taco side, there's a couple things that we would automatically do. One, probably change the color to maybe a black and white style a little bit more was what I'd focus on, just because I want the red to kind of pop out and the new logo to pop out up here in the top left hand corner. And so anything you click on, its ability to option and navigate it will come up here on the right hand side of your platform. Any sort of navigation you're looking for, whether it's making something all capital letters, which is an advanced, which is text, or whether it's moving something up and down or making more space for something for it to look. Now, there's two things that you're going to focus on here. There is the phone version and the computer version. Okay, so that is something you have to understand for your basic system is like, one, you have a computer version, you have a phone version. And those two versions are different because of one, how they come up, how do you want it to see, what do you want to happen versus someone who's on the phone who may not be able to get as much information, but you want them to convert faster than someone who's on the computer who can, digest a little bit more information because it's a lot more spread out. That's a lot of that advanced side, but all I would say is get your page up there, drop your first AI page, and get an amount of a system with your name and brand out there to try to get your basics started. Now, for a few different things, I'll click up here on the navigation tool. It's going to say images right here, which is going to be where this logo piece comes in down here, which is brand logo configuration from the navigation menu, which is this piece right here. I'm going to go down to the bottom here. I'm going to look to see if we have any assets here. Look, so we already have an asset in there. Now, a couple things can happen. Because that asset was so wide, it blew up the whole situation up here on the size-wise. Now, that will happen sometimes when you just do not have the right picture. There's a few different ways to fix that. One, go to like a Canva, adjust the amount of white space that's around the logo itself. That's one way to do it. The second way to do it is to come down here to the actual system, and it's going to tell you width and height here. You can actually make it bigger or smaller. So for me, I'm going to make the width of this thing a lot smaller, and it's going to close this slowly down. Now, that's why I said there's a couple ways you can do it. You could either smaller that program that way to be able to do it. You can make it smaller here so that it doesn't blow up because there's so much space around here. You can also do a few things if you want to make it bigger, but you want it to be able to show more of the logo. Now, these margins here actually suck in and out from around whatever project you're looking at. Um, so I think it may suck it in everywhere. So let's see what happens if we do that. So we can do minus 20. See what happens. Oh, did it just go positive 20? Oh, it only let me do 0. So in the navigation field, it looks like it won't let us push that again, but if this was outside the navigation field, it would let us do that. Any of these can actually do that, which will create space, either negative wise in between something or positive wise based off of how you're trying to adjust the page. So from there, that's how you can get his actual main menu up. Now, the one thing I would say is if you want to use a menu over and over again in different places, but you don't want to keep restarting it, there's a little save button for this menu thing. Let's change the color. Let's see if we're going to make this kind of like that a little bit more. We're going to make that red there, but I'm going to go here. I'm going to save this. I'm going to put main menu. Okay. I'm going to put that main menu. I'm going to make it a global selection, which what that means is, okay, the difference between a template, okay, and a global selection is wherever I put a global selection, if I change something on that menu, it will change through the entirety of the global system that is in your back office. And what that does is it saves you an extreme amount of time if a website or a link changes across your site and you don't want to have to change it on every single page. You actually use global sites. You could go on any site that has this global account on their main menu, change it, and it will change it for any site that's holding that menu down. Okay? And the way you find those menus is by adding elements over here on the left-hand side. Elements can happen in a few different ways. Depends on what you're trying to do. You have your basic elements here, which is anything from bullet points to headers to buttons to navigation to photos to surveys to a calendar to set up a time. Anything that's internal to the system, these things can actually just pull them into the system. That's the elements. Now here's my global selection that I just created for you. So what we're watching on, this is what I just created for you on the global selection. And you'll be able to actually click on this at any page and add it, and it'll be the same main menu that is on any other page that you create. Templates, like I said, and then you got these widgets, which I would say don't even really worry about that now, but you can actually buy widgets to add different complicated things to your system to get to the just like next level stuff, like testimonials that will pop in directly from Google, stuff like that. That's a little bit more advanced. Now, we also have the pre-built sectors, where you can actually go in here and you can actually tap on these pre-built sectors and just slap them into your site to use them as you choose. About me, welcomes, footers, testimonial sectors, right? All colors are changeables, guarantees, Mega Man menus. I'm assuming that can go on the very bottom as well. Plan sections depending on what you're trying to sell. Testimonials, team members, about you sectors, and a welcome sector to get started. Now, you have different kind of buttons you can put on any page. Social media links that you can add across a page where someone can use it. You can actually create countdowns separately if you want a certain timelined amount of sales on that page in which you're going to be able to sell that deal before it disappears on you. Progress bars and your ability to change up the way the image is on the page by using a imagery outline. A lot of that you guys can learn in the videos as well inside of Expert Marketly if you go in there. Now, the other thing I would tell you for any page is this SEO metadata, which is quite simple as what I would say, is that you're able to put a title on the page. This is all for when you guys share something on social media on a website and that little thing pops up, right? When you send it to someone in a text message or something or on Facebook, and a little button pops up that has a picture on there and has comments. That's what the SEO metadata is for. So the metadata, right, will show up like this. It'll pull up with a description that we're going to want on there. That we're going to want to put in an asset, which right now we can use his logo. And then this is what will pop up if you share it on social media or share this link into a DMs or somebody's messages, so they actually get this as it pops up, so that it actually shows whatever you're looking to get on that side. So we're going to save that, and we're going to stop there at that point in time, at that moment. Now, one of the other things that you're going to have to do is you're going to have to come create a form. Now, the reason why you need to create a form is because forms are built across a bunch of platforms. And how do you antagonize or get someone's information? What does that information look like? How do you get it? Okay. Gotcha. So this is me using a regular form. I'm gonna put more info on this one, but basically you're able to ask them for their information, get consent for their information, create a button, which was here be so I'm gonna do that for this. Let's change this color. Green doesn't really match. Let's go black. So I'm going to create that form, which is now also in your system, my guy, as well. So if you're looking for this, this is also getting created internally in your system in the moment. So now there's three things that have to happen in these systems that you fit in. And this is why building a system out now and kind of working on your processes now are important, because you got to build a system to get more eyeballs on your business. You got to build a system and then exchanging their data. And then you got to build a system and then what you're going to do after you receive their data, which is where the automation process comes in. What I'm going to do is I'm going to create it from scratch. I'm also going to call this more info. So the reason why I'm putting more info is because we're going to bather a funnel with somebody's looking for more info. What's the very first thing that happens? So the first thing that they're going to be able to do is that they're probably going to fill out the form, which is what we're here. This is called the trigger. What triggers what in your business when something happens? That's what processes are, which is when something happens, something else gets triggered. So what we're going to do is we're going to trigger the form setup here. So we're going to go here. We're going to put form. And we're going to do form submitted, and we're going to go to form is, and we're going to do the one form we have, which is more information. So what that means in this automation process is this automation will be triggered as soon as somebody fills out the more information form. Now, this is where you go about how you kind of build your business and process. Now, who's the very first person who most likely in the process that you're trying to build needs to be informed? That's your brand. It's going to be you. So we're going to do an internal, send an internal notification. This is important for you guys now because a lot of people have websites, they get leads, they never get back to these leads because they never understand how to set up a process. There needs to be a process that allows you to know that someone filled out that information. Now, there's three different ways you can do that. You can send yourself an email, you can send yourself a notification, you can send yourself a text message saying, hey, you got a new lead. They filled out this information. So I'm going to go with a notification because I have the application on my phone, and I'm going to show you how you can go and find that application called Lead Connect on your phone so you can connect directly to the back office, and it can notify you on your phone like if it was a conversation. So I'm going to go notification title. If for me, I'm going to type in new lead in his system. So you're going to have a new lead that pops up when you're actually here to actually sell the process. You're going to have a new lead that goes in here. And now a few different things that you can do here, which is one, this thing, custom values, creates an opportunity for you to pull from all sorts of the places. What do I mean by that is, what information are you going to want? You're going to want to need the contact's full name, right? Which is going to automatically pull them in because they're going to get tagged in here. You're going to get their their phone number, possibly, right? Depending on what questions you're asking, right? If we ask them what their company name was, right? They'll have that custom. And possibly we could ask them a question about what city they're in. Cool. So as soon as this person, am I missing something? I don't know why it's asking if my fields. Please check the fields. Oh, okay. I was like, what is happening? Mm-hmm. Got you. So what's gonna happen automatically now is if somebody fills out this information on the site, right? It was keeping it simple. They're gonna have an automatic internal notification, and that's gonna go to you, my man. Okay. So you're gonna get an internal notification as soon as someone ever fills out anything actually on your site to be able to deliver on them pretty quickly for you to know that you have a good lead or a new lead. And now you can do this in many different ways. You can do it in text messages, like I said, directly to yourself, depending on how fast you're gonna get back to a customer. You can do it in emails. That all really just depends on what you're looking for in the back office. For me, you'll launch that, you'll save there. So now you have a trigger point and a situation that starts with you in automation that it automatically creates for you. So for me, I want to leave it at that base today, and the next couple steps that we'll be going over are stuff tomorrow as well, which is like when they get in the system, the notification, and then what actually happens next in your sales process. Now, we've only done two things today. We're going to talk about sales tomorrow, which is walking them through a process and recreating more automation based off of those processes. But the very first thing you want to be able to do is to get your social media locked in, and then you want to come in and get your one site up, and you want to at least get a single form in there, and then you want to get a single automation because you want to process everything you do. Anything you do in this actual software can be processed. Whether you got to send someone a contract for a food contract, you can also do that. But we're not going into any of that. First, we're going to start off the basic process, being able to get someone's information from social media and turning it over to you to get ready to have a conversation with them. So that is the base of what we're going to talk about today. If you have any questions, my man, this is your time to ask all the questions in the world.
Okay, so I'm watching you do this, but I'm trying. I was trying to follow on my side, but I couldn't follow because you're working on it, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
But so I'm gonna be looking at the funnel. I see the site, but so now does that site? How do they see that site? Like, how is it that they're gonna get to my website that I have that was already created, before any of this?
How are they going to get to that one?
Yeah, or does that one not link with this?
I mean, they can link together easily. That always can easily work
Because
together on that side. But because it's on a different platform, necessarily it won't leak internally in the system unless we add some more, which are called CRM movements, which is you have to tape it from one CRM to the other. So
okay. So basically, what you just created was a whole nother website for me.
absolutely.
Okay, okay,
So it is its own standing in what we consider that is a funnel. Okay.
okay,
Now, the reason why we consider it a funnel when you're talking to someone, the difference between a funnel and a website is purpose driven. Okay.
right.
Websites are given to give information so you can check out multiple pages. A funnel is a directive. We want this person to give you their information in exchange for more information. So we want to exchange them through this funnel. We want to go from them seeing it to then giving you their information, and then that site is its own little funnel. It's like a little salesperson. Okay.
Okay.
Right? So the simplicity of that is being able to do like your brand name catering.com, right? It could be a totally different funnel than your original funnel so that you can actually just use it when you're like, hey, somebody's looking for catering, you're like, hey, I have this site. Now, because we're on here and we're actually still live, I'm going to go over a few different things in that perspective. But yes, it's a totally different site.
Okay.
Now, there's a few different ways that you can use totally different sites in different ways, which is purpose-driven sites of brand. Okay? So what a purpose-driven site and brand is, like I said, you can name your company and then put catering.com on there. And that site can be only for people who are looking for catering. And so if somebody's
Oh,
looking for catering, you won't mix them up by just throwing your site at them. You will put them right into your system so that you know, one, your system's going to tag them because they're looking for catering. You met them in person, it's going to tag them on that side. And there's a few different ways that I do that. And my brand, which is one of the ways that I do that, is by using QR codes to a certain site.
okay.
Okay? So I have this QR code on the back of my phone, so where I meet people when I'm marketing, and there's actually a QR code on the back of my phone. If I'm talking to somebody, they want to know what I do, I actually just have them scan this QR code, and it goes to my website. They put their information in, and it's the only site I created that's for in-person business
Okay.
because I'm able to track that now. It's very easy with this system to have two different sites that look exactly the same, and you choose when one person goes to one or another.
Okay.
Okay, so just so you know that simplicity of trying to simplify your tracking ability, because you want to know if 90% of the people you talking to person convert versus the 80% of people who just found your website. You want to know the difference.
Right.
You want to know if like I should be fucking going out to every group in the world because these guys are the ones that are converting, or the people I'm meeting in person. Versus, hey, I may want to double down on my Google because this is where my people are. Oh, maybe I want to double down on my Instagram or YouTube because this is where my clients are coming from. Knowledge is key for you to take the best action forward. It has to be trackable. So
Okay.
the reason why in this system you can take one site once we rebuild it out and you can duplicate them and put them in different places with different names or different meanings is because you want to track them. You
Right.
never want to do something that's not trackable. Here's a simple explanation. Let's say you decide to print out a bunch of cards, right? You decide to print out a bunch of cards to hand out to people. Maybe there's a QR code on there. You don't want to send them to the only one site that you have because you may not be able to track the fact that you spent $500 on business cards. You went out and passed these business cards out, but you don't even know if you actually got business from that because you didn't track that separately than your main site or your in-person site. That's where
Okay.
this kind of comes in because it's very easily duplicated. That site that I just built for you, I can literally go here and then go to clone it,
Right. I
add
saw
a
that.
URL, and put it somewhere else.
Okay.
And it seems like the same thing to the person who's receiving it, but you can what I call direct market traffic. You never want to be unsure where your business is coming from because it makes you confused and delirious about what actions you should take or where you should go garner up business, right?
Okay.
For me, it's like I know if it's coming from social media or whether it's coming in person, so I know whether I need to get my ass out the house or I need to just force myself to shoot some damn videos. I know the difference
Okay.
in what those two things are, and then it also makes it simple for me if I'm like, I need to garner up business. What am I gonna do? I need to garner up business. What am I gonna do? I'm gonna actually get to the thing that makes sense and it's trackable to my actual business.
Okay.
And that's where systems and processes are very important. And I always say, think in your mind as this is a need, it's a necessary, and you're never going to not need to know these things. Because
Right.
as soon as you start to convince yourself that, oh, I don't need to know these things, you will never get past that 6 to 7 figure mark. Because all marks of 6 and plus 7 figures are process driven platforms and process driven systems, right? You're gonna need the guy who finally starts to sell for you to be able to just get into a system and sell people for you automatically without them having to go jump into a wild system. You're gonna need that person to be able to get back to a client and they're gonna need to know where to go to find that client. You're gonna be like going to the CRM, this is their name, just continue the conversation. They're gonna need to know that, right? all these things are very, very important for your ability to be able to make sure it's all in one place and getting your business trackable, and then who's doing what. Like if you have employees who can actually sell deals for you, we can actually set up a system here
Mhm.
where they can get themselves tracked, their own URL. If they share that URL and someone tracks it, you know it came from them.
Oh, okay.
Right? So it's like it's really about the overall operations. Is what steps do you take to this overall business that's getting tracked, and then how do I know what happens next? Okay, so
Okay.
I'm glad we got to go over this training today, getting your social media. Today, what I would tell you to do is if you do not have a Google My Business, start one of those today. Oh, look, you already got them on. Let's go.
So I got there's two showing on there, but only one of them is actually working. One isn't working.
That's fine. I'm assuming
Okay.
this one with the green ass letters is the one that's working.
Okay.
Okay, so you got those three things done. The one thing I would tell you to do is go to YouTube and you're going to want to create a brand channel also for your business.
I think I have one too.
Okay, so then that's the next thing you want to do is you just want to add that to the channel as well so you have these things. Also allow me to do is one pop in there and be able to take a video that I've created for you and just throw it into your system so that it shares in places. Okay?
Okay.
Right? It is that it's that simple. I send you an email, you go in here and just go new post, create a new post, and then you can literally just take the content like, okay, I want to post it on Google My Business, I want to post it on here, I want to post it on Facebook. Cool. All right, let me upload my content from wherever it is. You upload the content from there. It can be even connected to your Google Drive. Right, like I said,
Okay.
uploading information into there is very simple. You can just pick the video out and then you can add it to here and you can actually share it across these platforms. And literally you could do all sorts of things, call to actions, offers. You can do this on top of things you post into Google My Business. And let me tell you something. People fucking suck at posting in Google My Business. Okay?
Yes.
People suck so bad that it is one of the goldenest opportunities is to have a thriving Google My Business.
Okay. What about Yelp?
Yelp also works as well, but I would say it's not as social. Yelp is a
Okay.
third party platform that competes against you technically because they want you to pay to be on their platform.
Right.
Okay? So they're technically a platform that that is like forcing you to pay for them to just to make sure that you have good reviews, okay?
Okay.
Same thing with I don't know if you ever seen that. What's that application for barbers? It's called like Shop or something like that, but you can get a bunch of barbers from it. You ever seen that application?
Nope. You know, now that you mentioned that, we're gonna talk about another application that I've thought about in regards to taco guys, like caterers, where we could just have them. Yeah, but anyways, but no, I haven't seen that. But I kind of know what you're talking about.
So there's other like there's like let's say have you ever heard of ClassPass?
No.
ClassPass is an application that allows people in the fitness space to buy into the ClassPass mantra, and then I can go to all these other places based off of how many points I have, and then ClassPass pays out to these places the amount of money that is like way lower than their membership because we're a part of ClassPass. Now, the reason why these platforms make so much money and do so well is because business owners are afraid to own their own shit. So they always look for third party platforms to deliver them customers. That's where I'm trying to get you out of as well, which is there is no third party that's going to magically make your business blow up. They don't exist. And as soon as you start paying them, they're basically just ramping up marketing in a certain level to get you more client customers and you're paying them and then they're making you compete for that customer with 10 people.
Okay.
Right, you get a lead. I was what other platform I was just looking at the other day that someone pays. I think it's like $15 to $50 a lead, and they give that lead to 10 people.
Oh shit.
Right, so they make $500 off that lead, and then you make 50. You have to pay $50, and that's not even guaranteeing that you're gonna get the lead.
Right. Okay.
Okay, so for us, it's about how do we own the person from the beginning of the process to the end of the process. How do you keep them platforming important on social media, getting them content out on there? How do you get them into your system and you're sending them updates or happy birthday or getting prepared to do their next event or giving them a referral fee to share with the next person. You got to be able to get to all of these people in your business at once. That's where the CRM really comes in for people. Okay.
Okay.
So that's what you're able to do. And you're able to just post in Google My Business. And literally, you can do a call to action, dog. You can literally do an event show up to a certain event there. You can give them an offer or a promo code to be able to start there. Or you can give them a call to action and you can just tell them what they're going to do here. And then you can send them to the site right from Google My Business,
Okay.
right? Because you can start competing and actually posting on that process. And here's even a really cool thing too is like for the we won't even get to that level yet. We need to just get people posting first, and then we'll go to upgrading the levels of strategy they use during these posting processes. But as simple as that, you can go in here, drop words or context or anything you need, and start to actually offer up and post on your social media, your Facebook page, all at the same time to make your life a lot simpler and easier on that side. Pretty easy to
Okay.
run the business. So yeah, guys, I'm gonna end the actual recording on that part of the basics of getting your business started, building your brand. We will have a workshop tomorrow that will be going for 2 hours, just so you know you can pop on that, just so you want to get in there. And I would say tomorrow, if you're gonna get on the 5 o'clock one tomorrow, just be prepared with a pen and pad because we'll be going through the breakdown of this process, and you'll already have some of the things done already. Because like I said, I guess it's amazing when everybody doesn't show up as well on these calls as well, because I can just build right inside your platform for you.
Yeah, this is cool. I like it.
Um, so on that side, being able to do that, make sure anybody's watching go through the starter training and get their stuff done on that side. But for now, sayonara. I'll see you guys later. You don't have to get off of here. I'm actually just gonna stop the recording, but we can still talk. There you go. Yeah, okay, there you go. That's ended.